are warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir. RoadToRoo.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Had some great dreams last night. Very calming. And didn't Cliff say the second half of year zero would be worse than the first? Obviously it is. There's more coming. We're in this game for a while now. 10 years? 15 maybe? I hate saying the new normal because it's not. The new normal is a term that implies that things will stay in this changed mode. They're going to change again and again and again. You need to become more grounded. I'm trying my best. More spiritual. I'm trying my best. More in touch with the reality that we're not just physical beings. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience here for the moment. And these moments are fleeting. I mean, the history of everything, none of this is going to matter, obviously. And it doesn't matter, but it's important that we do it. That was Gandhi. Everything you do will be insignificant, but it's very important that you do it. That is God experiencing himself through us. For you not religious, it's not really religion either. I'm not a fan of religion. I'm a fan of spirituality. I'm a fan of good and bad and the understanding of doing what's right. And I believe that we need to do what's right. And Mr. Trump, you need to do what's right. Mr. Biden, you wouldn't know right from wrong if it hit you in the head like a hammer. And what's right is in truth and honesty, obviously. It could, it sounds so obvious. Just be truthful with the American people. There's no more need for national security interests. Our nation is on the brink of collapse. Why do we need any national security hidden things from the U.S. people, from we the people? No more. Just end it. Trump Jr. said, let's just declassify everything. Why not? It's either that or lose your country. So that means, yes, declassify ET stuff, declassify market manipulation stuff, declassify the gold in the Grand Canyon, declassify what happened really during the election, declassify the pedophile stuff, declassify it all. It's either that or we lose our country. So I leave this up to whoever ends up being the president. Truthfully, I don't think either will become a president that the United States of America agrees with. Neither. It's time to start something new. And it's not a bad thing. But that the new, as it keeps changing and changing and changing, needs to be honest. We need to declassify everything. There should be no classified information in the United States anymore. None. Because we're going to lose our country anyway. So declassify it all now, is my take. We'll see. Take it all in. Don't expect things to go back to the way it was, but there is no new normal. It is not normal. The World Bank is not going to take over the monetary system. I'm sorry, all you people who believe in the quantum financial system. Is just another crazy made-up thing. It's not made up. People are actually trying to do this stuff, but you need 7.5 billion people to agree. It's just ridiculous on the face of it. So there you have it. I am very calm, cool, and collected at the moment. I'm actually playing golf like Trump. I'm playing golf tomorrow and Friday. Take a breath, my friends. Take a breath. All right. New Michelle White Dove report out. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff, especially if you're into cryptos. And it's a lot more than cryptos. She talks about the election, what she thinks will happen. And I'm not going to give away any of it. Go join her Patreon and you can get access to it. Michelle White Dove Patreon, and you will find her. Michelle's amazing. And the only thing I would say, Team White Dove, TW as they call themselves, Pete, where's the silver stuff? There's no silver update in it. So I would ask Team White Dove to go back to Michelle and say, hey, let's get a little silver update on the spiritual guidance for silver for the remainder of the year. Just leave it at the remainder of the year. And then everybody is going to join the Michelle White Dove Patreon, which they should anyway. Go to Patreon, Michelle White Dove, and get the latest report. There's all kinds of good stuff in there. And Team White Dove, it's time. You got to add silver to this report. Don't get me wrong. The old reports had a lot of silver in it. Michelle is, I think she's a third precious metals, a third cryptos, and a third cash in her portfolio. She's not, an investment guru. She listens to spirit and tells the world what spirit's thinking. She brought spirit brought Theta into our sites, and if you're a Road to Ruta member, I think all Road to Ruta private members are going to take over the entire Theta blockchain. No, all Road to Ruta members are going to own 50% of all Theta out there. I hope so. I doubt it. I doubt it. It's going to be the biggest cryptocurrency of them all, by far. Wait till the tech investors start saying, "Oh my God, we're having problems with the CDNs out there, the content delivery networks," and wait till Ethereum investors figure out that Theta is better than Ethereum when it comes to smart contracts. Now, that is not their goal. They're not claiming to be an Ethereum killer, although I would say, hey, it's dog eat dog in the cryptos. If Ethereum can't get their shit together and Theta is 1,000 times cheaper and 1,000 times faster for smart contracts, and you can program on the same language, why not everybody on Ethereum port over to Theta? Smart contracts are coming out in the next, 45 days. If Theta sticks to their projections of when these things are going to hit, and so far they've been perfect. And I see no reason for them not to continue to be perfect. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you to Spirit for providing this, especially for Road to Ruta members who are new to cryptos. On the private road, I've been walking people through, and it's tough at times because America doesn't make it easy to get your hands on Theta. But that's part of it. It's part of the learning curve, and we're all learning about this stuff. So bravo, Michelle. Join the Michelle Patreon. And Team White Dove, we're looking for the silver update. All right. Speaking of silver, do you want to know why silver did this? Why it got slammed yesterday and today it's kind of wobbling around, or slammed the day before yesterday, and yesterday it kind of evened out, and then it's wobbling around now. Do you really want to know why? Does the CFTC want to know why this happened? Right here. Boom. 1 billion ounces. I talked about that the other day. 1 billion ounces were dumped, right? The slam down. And then look, half of that, 500 million, are traded yesterday. What was the difference? What changed in the world of silver? Nothing. The same amount was being consumed. The same amount was mined. Nothing on the supply and demand changed at all. Market rigging changed. That's why silver went down. That lump, that derivative dump on the COMEX. But the COMEX the CFTC can't quite figure out how market rigging works with the silver price. It is illegal, according to commodity law, for futures and options to set the price of silver. And yet, boom, we have this, and we have, let's look at the 3-day or 30 days, and we have the slam down. What don't you understand? See, it's just stupid. It's completely stupid how idiotic you are. Of course, we know you're not idiotic at the CFTC. You're criminal. You are covering up for the crime of the century, the manipulation of gold and silver prices. When you meet your maker, all you guys who are in charge of this at the CFTC, what do you think they're going to say? When you go through your past life review after you pass on, hopefully you have a long and fruitful life, what do you think you're going to tell yourself? Did you do a good thing by rigging the silver market, or did you do a bad thing by rigging the silver market? I would guess you'd be really, really, really disappointed in yourselves for allowing this to go on. But hey, we all got our own karma. You're going to have to sort yours out yourself. In the meanwhile, yes, silver has stabilized because the COMEX futures and options have stabilized. Completely illegal in COMEX law. So, yeah, we're looking for the 50-day moving average again, 50, 25 bucks right now is the 50-day moving average. We are moving into delivery month. I also want everybody to realize that the financial system is, as scared as we are about the future and what's going to happen to the banks, what's going to happen to the money, the criminal banking rigging cabal is 50 times more afraid. That's why they're throwing viruses at us. That's why they're throwing market crashes at us. That's why they're requiring bailouts every single day in the billions of dollars. I lost track of how many billions and trillions that the Fed has given the banksters, disguised as buying assets. I have completely lost track. I know J.P. Morgan's sitting there with $2 trillion of Fed money. $2 trillion. It is insane what is being done, but we always knew it would be. It was the end game on the road to Ruta. You run the system as long and hard as you can so you can have all the benefits of fiat money. Build your roads, your bridges, your houses, all this stuff, the military, the secret space program. None of that could have been built without the manipulation of the system. And then you crash it. That's the part that everybody's afraid of. Returning to something sound would be devastating. Of course it's devastating. But do you really want to have a century of wars, of murder, of lying, cheating, and stealing, of control by the bad guys sucking our souls? No. It's time to get devastating. All right. I just want to run you guys through. This is the quarterly derivatives trading report. It's put out by the Office of Comptroller of Currencies in Washington. This is just U.S. banks. It's not the other criminal, mainly European and English banks. I just want to run you through. There's a lot of bullshit, but this is how and why, one, how they manipulate the markets, but two, this is why they can't stop. You can't have freely traded gold and silver. Look at these numbers. These are in the billions. That's 1 billion. This would be 250 trillion. If it's in the billions, one of those is a billion and the next is 1,250 trillion. And look what happened. Everybody thought, oh my God, the crisis of 2008, 2009, we have way too many derivatives. Boom. They increased the derivatives for the next 4 years. And then it started coming down. There was like, okay, I think we're out of the mess. And look what happened in this year, in the first quarter. It started up again. The exact same thing. 2008, we bailed out the banks. 2020, there's going to be no bailout. You think anybody in Congress can agree on absolutely anything? Nothing. Well, Congress is done. Congress is over. They will never be able to agree on anything ever again. No matter who becomes the official elected president, the other half of the country is going to say, hell no. And of course, the crazy politicians will say, yeah. Can you imagine how many times, if Biden becomes president, how many times the Republicans will try to impeach Biden just like the Democrats? But, I mean, the Democrats tried to impeach Trump on nothing. The Republicans are going to try to impeach Biden on everything. You name it, from taking payouts to the pedophilia. You name it. You can bust Biden on. It is insane, and it's not going to end, my friends. The new normal will change again next week. And it will be, there is no new normal. There was no new normal. The new normal changes weekly, and it's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. That's why I was a big fan of ripping the Band-Aid off. At least you can just purge yourself and start fresh. But the decision is made, I guess, not to rip the Band-Aid off. So we're going to keep bleeding under the Band-Aid. And the Band-Aid is this: derivative contracts being thrown at everything in the trillions. That's just U.S. That's just what they report. That's end of quarter reporting. So on a single day, that's where it stood. During the whole quarter, they trade 1,000 times that. Into the many quadrillions, quintillions. It is infinity money, just like Ruta wrote in the sand. Infinity money. So let me show you some highlights. Let's look for some. Here are the 4 banks that dominate the derivatives. There's only 4. There's only 4 banks. And there are your 4 banks. JP Morgan, obviously. Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and Citibank. They dominate the derivative markets. And the funny thing is, the OCC, the Office of Comptroller of Currency, has a graph that says it's called 4 banks dominate in derivatives. It is insane. There's no reason for derivatives other than to rig the markets. And there you go. There's your 4. JP Morgan, Bank of America, City, and they all collude together. And they all trade with each other. Hey, you take some hits this week, I'll take some hit next week. We'll both make money in the trading back and forth of these derivatives. I want to show you a few of the interesting things. Charge-offs. I always look at gold and silver because those are the things that will free humanity. Trading revenues. Like I said, see, sometimes like JP Morgan will lose this quarter and then Bank of America will win. And then they'll flip it the next quarter because they're trading back and forth with each other, all controlled by the computer programs that Alan Greenspan wrote in the 1970s. It's really amazing that it's happened, that it's been controlled for so long. Look at gold and contract maturity. This is very deceiving because at some point in here, I think it was 2008, they changed gold to be part of foreign exchange. But no, gold's not money. But they changed the reporting. It was better to understand what was going on in silver that happened. This is precious metals is basically 95% silver rigging. Look at 2019. Look at 2020. Look at the fourth quarter of 2019 in silver rigging. $60 billion. Let's do the math right here. 60 billion, 60 billion. 60 billion. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by, is that billion? That looks like a lot of zeros. What was the price of silver back in? Oh, that's when JP Morgan slammed it in first quarter. So it went down to $12. Remember, it's the end of the first quarter. 12 equals, in derivatives, 5 billion ounces of silver derivatives. 5 billion ounces of silver derivatives is where the banksters, JP Morgan mainly, stood and at the end of the first quarter. That's where the crimes are, my friends. It's in the derivatives of metals, the derivatives of the US dollar, the derivatives of oil. Okay, let's look at this. What does this say? Commodity and equity contracts by maturity. Everything's shorter than a year. It shows you just how criminal they are. That's why companies like Virtu Financial have no problem rigging the market. Very short-term trading. Interest rate, obviously, are the largest because they have to control the price of money. Everything else is priced in money. It is the money that they have to control, the value of the US dollar. How do they do that with derivatives? They use derivatives. And here we have 60 trillion in notional derivatives from JP Morgan Chase. 60 trillion. What could go wrong, right? Jamie Dimon, what could go wrong? The world's biggest criminal bankster. All right, and then we have where we stand right now. Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan stand with 60 trillion in derivatives overall. Goldman Sachs has 47 trillion. Citibank has 44 trillion. And then Bank of America has 20 trillion. And it starts to fall off. HSBC's in there, but this is supposed to be just U.S. banks. For some reason, they put it in there. Might be the HSBC U.S. version, their U.S. subsidiary. Hong Kong Shanghai Bank is the number one criminal bank for the cabal, by the way, in case you didn't know. There are others, but Hong Kong Shanghai Bank is even more criminal than JP Morgan. I don't know if I can say that now. Used to be. So, yeah, you can go down. This is all on the Office of Comptroller of Currencies. Let's see. And we can see who's rigging the silver market today of the banks. Now, this isn't counting BlackRock, and it's not counting Virtu Financial. So let's take a look and see who we got. Gross fair price. Derivative contracts. Trading from equity. Interest rate. Gold and foreign and currency. That's let's see, in the billions and millions. So it's a billion, 7 trillion. I mean, the numbers are so ridiculous. And here's silver. Precious metals is what they call it. If you look, there's only two banks. JP Morgan with 29 billion and Citibank with 7.5 billion. Remember, this is the bank. They both got busted. JP Morgan and Citibank got busted for rigging the precious metal market. JP Morgan obviously had a bigger bust, but look at that, $29 billion worth of silver derivatives. How could that even be allowed? Because it's all criminal. Anyway, whatever. I want to put an alert out for Jason at 4. Hurricane Etna, not Etna, ETA, ETA, estimated time of arrival is coming right at you, Snippy. Right at you. So be careful, my friend. Another hurricane, they're firing it up probably with HARP system. Who knows what's going to happen. Coming right towards Tampa where Snippy lives. So Snippy, they're coming after you. Stay low. Also, what cracked me up is, look at this, Hurricane Theta. Hurricane Theta has been named. But the funny thing about Hurricane Theta is it's running away from the United States. Look at that. It's going to the right and not to the left. That's my take. Theta's like, screw that. I'm running away from the United States. Word on the street is Theta's about to have some very big announcements. I would say the ones we know about is number 1, smart contracts. Number 2, Coinbase. Those are the two big ones I see. I'm not sure when Coinbase will hit. I don't know where they'll get the coins. If you open up Theta to the United States for purchasing, good night. Good night. Well over $1, probably well over $2 or $3. And it's sitting at 62 cents. Again, Road to Ruta members, I walk you through it. I just posted on the private road in the year 0 updates, another Theta update. Again, for Road to Ruta members, the very top of the page, the private road page, is an article, Ruta's Theta page. It walks you through how to buy it, how to store it, and how to stake it. Yes, there's no urgency in getting Theta. You have decades to buy Theta. You will be buying Theta 20 years from now. You'll probably be using Theta fuel all over the place, including smart contracts. That's just the way it's going to happen. According to the Road to Ruta, according to Michelle White Dove's Spirit, that's we have on the Road to Ruta, this help has given people hope. Given people hope that their financial future does not have to be destroyed because of the mismanagement of the human endeavors in the financial system. Same with silver. If you're going to get two things in the world and you don't want to understand every single crypto and every single financial entity, get physical silver in your own possession. Send an email to Andy Scheckman, andy@milesfranklin.com. Tell them to ship everything they got to you. And number 2, get yourself a Theta Guardian node. And it can be as big as you want. They are going to be changing, maybe even this year, from 10,000 Theta to 1,000 Theta for a Guardian node. But why not buy it now when the price is still at 62 cents? That's a Guardian node will cost you $6,200. I know it's a big chunk of money. But if Michelle White Dove is correct, and her new numbers are correct, and Theta goes into the thousands, you do the math. 10,000 Theta node, and you buy 10,000 times 1,000. Actually, it's times 2,000 plus. $20 million. But it won't be priced in dollars. It'll probably be priced in Bitcoin or Litecoin or Something like that. It's also complicated. That's why I'm going to play golf like Donald Trump. Anyway, if you guys want to join the private road, and even if you just want to get the 25 Theta and 25 Theta fuel for a 1-year membership, you get all the inside scoop and all the archives at roadtoroad.com. And I send to your front door 25 Theta and 25 Theta fuel. If Michelle White Dove is correct, this will be worth over $50,000. If Michelle is correct. Which, why wouldn't she be? She's right on absolutely everything else. And I'm not just relying on Michelle. I've done the homework. We know that it's the future of the internet. It's Internet 2.0, which is desperately needed. Have you ever sat there and watched a video and all of a sudden you get that little circle going around? You're like, what the hell is that? Oh, God, the internet's slow. The internet is filling up. There's no more space for all the things we want to do. The Internet of Things is filling up the broadband, the tunnel of where all this information keeps coming. All the pipes are getting clogged. All the content delivery networks are getting clogged. Voila, we have a decentralized internet in Theta. And oh, by the way, it's also smart contracts. And oh, by the way, it's also a way to distribute income to humanity. Sure, you can download a Edge node cacher right now. Go to thetatoken.org. You can start earning Theta fuel right now, today, on most computers. If you bought your computer in the last 2 or 3 years, it probably runs on your computer. And you'll be assisting in a decentralized internet and earning Theta fuel. That's all I got for you today. Take a deep breath. It ain't so bad. Change is good. God knows the worst thing is that if we stayed with what was going on in the past. We're just starting to learn about it. This shit's been going on for decades, if not centuries. Take out the bad guys, we got to destroy everything, and that's what's happening. So, hang tight, my friends. More news to come when I get off the golf course. It's tomorrow I'm playing golf. Maybe later today. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroad.com. I'll talk to you guys later.